Arizona Votes 2024, continuing coverage of the general election on Arizona's Morning News.
With Donald Trump retaking the White House, the U.S. Senate swinging to Republican control, and a chance that the GOP could retain control of the House of Representatives as well, where does the Democratic Party go from here?
Joining us is Steve Slugocki, who is the former chairman of the Maricopa County Democratic Party. Thanks for getting up early with us,
Yeah,
Steve.
thanks for having me today. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for getting up early. Looking at the national picture, what do you credit the most for the Republican victories and Donald Trump winning every battleground state?
Yeah, I mean, first off, I guess we were saying, I'm surprised about what had happened in this election. I would have never imagined that Trump would win all the battleground states. I mean, that is just incredible to me. It's obviously very disappointing for me as a Democrat. It's really upsetting because we worked really hard for Kamala Harris. We did our best, but obviously we fell short on that. And we've got to pick up the pieces and figure out what went wrong and move forward, because we've got a lot of work ahead of us. We can't just pack up and take our ball and go home. We've got to continue this fight. We've got to fight for our values, and we've got to reach out to these voters that turned us down a few days ago. And we've got to figure out why that happened so that we can win these future elections.
But there are issues that are mostly Democratic, like the propositions on the ballot that passed.
Yeah.
But the presidential candidate, lost. I mean, there's that question on the Republican side, too, with Trump winning and Carrie Lake is behind in her race as well.
Yeah.
So it's really a mixed bag for voters on the things that they voted for. What do you think were the biggest issues that created this?
Yeah, I mean, abortion, the 139 passed overwhelmingly, which was, I think it was a good thing. But again, people want to control their own bodies. I think at the end of the day, that's what they wanted. They wanted to control their own healthcare decisions for themselves. But what's amazing to me is that I saw an interview with an ASU student where she said she voted for Donald Trump because he didn't want a national abortion ban. And it's like, do we have uneducated people that don't understand that he's the one who caused this? He's the one who helped overturn Roe versus Wade. So we've got to do a better job of educating people on the policy positions, because I think obviously people were misinformed on that. Some people were misinformed on that. But yeah, I mean, again, for the Roe versus Wade, people want to control their own decisions. But unfortunately, the immigration issue for a lot of people just overrode. They wanted to protect their own healthcare choices, but they were afraid of immigrants. And Donald Trump and the Republicans
Is it really that they're afraid of immigrants, or they're afraid of unvetted immigrants?
Yeah, sure. Yes, correct. I'm sorry. They were afraid of these things because Donald Trump and the Republicans just for months just relentlessly talked about people coming across the border and violent crimes and gangs and things like that. So, that's unfortunately that message got across. But Ruben Gallego won, which is great. And I think it just also for that, it just shows that Carrie Lake was just a deeply unpopular candidate.
So as you look at the whole of the picture, let's talk about the state of the Democratic Party in the state of Arizona. Donald Trump wins, Ruben Gallego likely to win.
Yep.
Do you consider this a net positive election for the Arizona Democratic Party?
No, I don't. I mean, Donald Trump won Arizona, so it's a negative for us, unfortunately. We did not get across this finish line. I don't know the final results, obviously, but we're probably not going to take the House of majority in the state legislature. It seems that way as of right now. We still do have a lot of ballots to go, but we're going to fall a little bit short on that, and that's unfortunate because that was a major goal that we thought we'd be able to accomplish this cycle.
So when you regroup for the next one, what do you think will be the top issues addressed?
I think education is going to be a big thing that we've got to continue to work on. Our candidates, I felt like our candidates were better. We're pro-education, pro-democracy, pro, just getting out. I'm pro-education. I'm sorry. I'm missing the words here on this, but we've got to get out there and we've got to talk to these voters about the values that we are important to us. And I think we didn't do that this cycle enough to get people to vote for our candidates, unfortunately, and our message just got drowned out.
We're talking with Steven Slugocki, who is the former chairman of the Maricopa County Democratic Party, about the future of the Democratic Party after Donald Trump's win and all these other things happen. Do you think the Arizona Democratic Party can take a page out of Senator Kelly's playbook when it comes to the border? I mean, that guy has said we need to fund more on the border, and he's not been for unfettered access from foreign nationals.
Yeah, I mean, Senator Kelly has done a tremendous job leading in his time as the election. We've got to take cues from him. We've got to learn from him. We've got to follow his lead on these things because obviously he won and he's doing a great job on that. So we've got to continue to talk to voters. We've got to register more voters. That's a huge thing that I think that we've got to work on in the next 2 years. You know, our registration numbers have been going down, unfortunately. We've got to find out why aren't people identifying as Democrats. You know, this is a very independent state. People love to say, I'm not with the parties. I don't identify as one. But again, we've got to talk about our values, and I think that's how we're going to win this election, by saying this is what we're for, not just we're against Donald Trump.
All right. Thanks a lot, Steven, for getting up early. Really appreciate it. He actually came down to the studio. He said he's usually walking the dog at this time.
And I wanted to know why he didn't bring the dog in with him.
She's an 80-pound husky.
Would have loved that. They'd like to talk. We'll just put a microphone in front of her, right?
Thank you again for the opportunity. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, you bet, Steven.
Thanks for watching Arizona's Morning News. Click to watch more from KTAR News and hit the button in the middle to subscribe.